This is the back side of 12.7, Graphing Using Vertex Form, Day 2. Go ahead and pull those notes out. All right, writing the equation given a graph. Step number 1, we're going to identify the vertex. So looking at the graph that's given, we can notice our vertex is right here at -1, +1. As we learned the other day, our vertex are the values of h and k in our vertex form. Choose another point. You can pick any point on the graph. I highly recommend that you pick a point that's a perfect point. So I can see here we have 0, 3 and -2, 3. You can choose either one of those. I'm going to go with 0, 3. Now, we're going to use these points for x and y. Now, we're going to substitute those known values into the vertex form y equals a, x minus h squared plus k. Notice from all the points that we have, we know h and k, and we have an x and our y. The only thing we don't have are the values of a, so that is what we are eventually solving for. So I'm going to place this in here. My y equals, well, y in the ordered pair that I picked was 3, equals, we don't know a yet. X in the ordered pair that I picked was 0, minus h, so minus my h value, which is -1, squared plus k. K in this one is +1. Simplify by solving for a. So I have 3 equals a. 0 minus -1 is just 0 plus 1, which is just 1. Then I have 1 squared, which is 1. And a times 1 is just a. So solving for a, all I have to do now is subtract 1 from each side. So I have 2 equals, and once again, a times 1 is just a. So I have solved for the value of a, and I know my vertex. So we're going to write the equation by substituting those values in to get our vertex form. Y equals, the value of a is 2, x minus my value of h, which is -1, squared, plus k, which is 1. Simplifying this, I have y equals 2, x plus 1, quantity squared, plus 1. Here I have successfully found the equation of this parabola by finding the vertex, any ordered pair, solve for the value of a, and plug them in. My last step, if needed, is to multiply and combine like terms to write the equation in standard form. So to write this in standard form, I have y equals 2. I'm going to multiply out x plus 1 quantity squared, which is x plus 1 times x plus 1. So next I have 2, x plus 1 times x plus 1 is x squared plus x, which will give me 2x, and 1 times 1 is 1. Don't forget you still have this plus 1 on the outside. Next, I'm going to distribute my 2 to all of these terms. So I have y equals 2x squared plus 4x plus 2 plus 1. And last, I can combine those like terms. Y equals 2x squared plus 4x plus 3. So I got my vertex form multiplied out to standard form. Okay, working on the next one. Write the equation in vertex form of the function shown. All right, so here I have labeled for you the vertex. So the vertex in this case is -2, -2, which is our h and k. It makes it easy if you label these things together. Another point, you can pick any perfect point on this graph, but the one I do have labeled here, or you can always use the symmetric points, but I have -1, +1, which is my x and my y. Now that I have 2 points, my vertex and my xy, I can plug this into vertex form in order to solve. Vertex form is y equals a, x minus h, quantity squared, plus k. So my y is the y value of my ordered pair, so 1, equals a, x in my ordered pair is -1, minus h in my vertex is -2 squared, plus k, and it's -2, so -2. Next, I'm going to simplify in order to solve for my value of a. So I have 1 equals a, 1 minus -2. Well, this will change to a +2. So -1 plus 2 gives me +1. Then I have 1 equals, well, 1 squared is 1. And solving for a, I'm going to add 2 to both sides, which is 3. And 1 times a is just a. If this was a value other than 1, our last step would be to divide by that number. Now that I have my value of a, and that I know my vertex, I'm going to put this one in vertex form. And that's all these instructions have asked for. Write the equation in vertex form. So I'm going to write y equals 3 for my value of a, x minus, well, my h value is -2 squared, minus 2 for my value of k. Simplify to 3, x plus 2 squared minus 2. Here we have vertex form. Okay, if you want to try out this problem on your own, this says write the equation in standard form. So you're going to take it all the way down to standard form like we did in the first example. You can pause the video and try this problem out on your own. Okay, I first picked out my vertex, which was +1, +2, my h and k, and I used the points 3, 4. But there were many other points on this graph that you could have used, and your answer will be the same as mine. I plugged in those values into my vertex form to get 4 equals a, 3 minus 1 squared plus 2 for my x and my y and my h and my k. Then I simplified to solve for a. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4, and then I subtracted 2 on both sides. I did have one extra step in this problem, so my next step was to divide by 4, and I found my value of a was equal to 1/2. If you found your value of a was also equal to 1/2, or if you had some trouble with it, fix up your issues right now before we get to plugging it into the equation. All right, so then I plugged it into my equation as y equals 1/2 x minus 1 quantity squared plus 2, my h and my k, and my value of a. This would be done if I only needed vertex form, but I needed standard form. So I multiplied out x minus 1 quantity squared as x minus 1 and x minus 1, and got x squared minus 2x plus 1. Then I distributed my 1/2 to all these pieces, and I had y equals 1/2 x squared minus 1x plus 1/2. And my last step, I combined my like terms. So standard form for this equation is y equals 1/2 x squared minus x plus 5/2. All right, go ahead and take your homework out from the previous day, and you need to work out the problems that we did not complete the previous day.